What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So, again, here we go, right? Same old story. I've been messing up, not putting a lot of content over here. I've really been putting in a lot of work on the other two channels. But, this is the channel that's going to be a little bit different. This is going to be more of the national political stuff and, just different stuff. I really have been hesitant to talk about these protests. A lot of people want to focus on just specific stuff ever since the new administration took office. And it seems like a lot of people are more interested in aha moments, gotcha moments. They're more interested in that than how do we make this country as successful, as affluent, and as safe as possible. I would think those would be the more important things, not political petty ass, your petty ass political indifferences. And how did it get so bad? Anyways, I don't want to get lost in the weeds on this. As someone who I am very proud to be Mexican, I am also very proud to have been born in this country. I am very invested in this country and its success. I'm about to be 51 years old in March, right? So, when I think of the future of this country, it isn't necessarily for me. Today as I record is February 4th. Today is my daughter's 31st birthday. Happy birthday. And so when I think of the future of this country, I think of her and if she decides to have children. My daughter's 31 years old today and has told me that the way the world is, how crazy things are in the world, she doesn't have any interest in bringing a child into this. And I get it. I come from a time where, people were having, I'm 51 years old, and people were having kids at a very young age when I was growing up, My mom gave birth to me exactly 90 days after she turned 16. And that was pretty much the norm back then. And even when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, there was a lot of girls having kids, babies having babies, they used to call it, And so I think of the future generations. Now, these protests. When people said that we're going to protest, I didn't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with anyone protesting something they don't agree with. As Americans, we have that liberty. We have that right, as long as we do so peacefully, right? And so I was like, cool. Get out there and bring some attention to what you believe in. And what did we get? What have we gotten? What have we received? We have people gathering in certain places and doing sideshows, what they call it out here in California. That's usually like a Bay Area thing. But people doing donuts and dancing and smoking a bunch of weed and basically making it a party. Not a protest, but a party. I think that protests should be taken seriously. And if you want to be taken seriously, you're going to be respectful in how you're doing it. And you're going to have signs, and you're going to have chants, things that look good for your cause. And again, what we have is people doing donuts and smoking weed and burning the American flag now in some of these protests. I feel like if you're going to protest and say that you belong here, I'm Mexican. I love my people. But if I was in that category where I want to be here, and I want people to know that I want to be part of the fabric of this country, I am going to be waving the American flag, not the country that you don't want to go back to. You don't want to go back to Mexico. And it's not, look at, I just saw a thing and I put it on my story on IG. And it was a Mexicano saying, people want to blame Trump. People want to blame America, the United States of America, for why people are being deported. Instead of looking at why are they coming here illegally? Because their own government, the government of Mexico, is so corrupt. I mean, going back to the beginning, you go back to the revolution and prior to the Mexican Revolution. Why did they have the revolution? Because of the corruption. And since that time, it never changed. It did not get better. And the people of Mexico have suffered. And something has to happen in the political system of Mexico to right things in a country. Mexico has so much when it comes to natural resources and oil and everything else. They could be such a powerful economy over there. They could have such a powerful economy. They could create a system over there where people would not leave. I'm telling you, I have spoken to so many Mexican nationals, what a lot of us over here refer to as the paisas. I have spoke to so many paisas. I say, you think I want to be here? I would rather be in Mexico, making money there and being with my family. And, you know, they would love to be there, but for a lot of different circumstances, they're here. And that's where the rub is, right? There are so many that are not, they do not come over here with bad intentions. But when an administration, just like Hillary Clinton said when she ran for office, just like Barack Obama said when he was in office, just like Nancy Pelosi said in the past and Chuck Schumer said in the past, if you come over illegally, you are a criminal. And so when they say they're gonna hunt down the criminals, unfortunately, if you came across illegally, you are considered a criminal, and so you therefore fall under that net they're casting. I'm hoping that there will be a way that the process can be streamlined, but we need to know who's coming into this country. I think it's only right. You know, and then we have this whole, people are talking about birthright citizenship being stripped. There have been many countries who had birthright citizenship, and in order to protect their country, in order to protect their country and their land, they did away with birthright citizenship. And it is only in a place like the United States of America where it is going to be considered racist and racism to abolish birthright citizenship. These things are going to take, they're going to go down the path they have to go down. There's processes, there's the courses, whatever. These things will play themselves out. But the reality is, the United States allows millions and millions of people to cross legally. It is a very slow process, and I agree. When we have countries that are in these war-torn countries in Europe, when they can be streamlined and allowed into the United States because of what's going on in their nation, I think that is a slap in the face to those who have been waiting. And I say that because their countries are torn apart as well due to poor leadership, corrupt leadership, corrupt governments. I think we all have a heart for those who want to come here and have a better life. But we got to know who's coming in. And then people have been saying, why is there such a focus on the southern border? Well, I look at how many people come across and have come across. But we just got into a pissing contest with Canada because this administration told Canada fentanyl is pouring across the northern border, along with a lot of Chinese illegals. This is what was being said. And there was the pushback from Trudeau, who has no power, who's a lame duck. And now what has Trudeau announced? He's going to be spending his government will be spending $200 million on border security. He's going to be sending 10,000 new personnel to the border. He is appointing a brand new fentanyl czar. This is great. This is great, but how many of you guys heard that? You're not going to, because the mainstream media doesn't want you to know that Trump did that. Trump is trying to stop fentanyl from coming in here and killing those that unfortunately have drug habits. They don't know what's been laced with it or not. So we have him. This new administration has now come to an agreement with the Mexican government as well as the Canadian government. Tariffs are on hold for the meantime because the bargaining chip was used and everyone realized what is best for their own nations. But back to these protests. Please, if you want to protest, do it in a way where people are going to feel sympathy for you. You can't burn the American flag and wave the flag of the country you're saying you don't want to go back to and saying, I still belong here. It doesn't make sense. I'm sure in the long run, things will work themselves out. I like to be optimistic about what's going on. I refuse to be pessimistic, especially with the background that I have. Majority of my life incarcerated. The majority of my life willingly making horrible decisions, self-destructive decisions. And luckily I grew up and I try to be a realist in everything I'm involved in, everything I'm looking at. I want to be a realist in what I'm doing. Am I going to be right in everything? Absolutely not. But I'm going to be paying attention. And I'm going to be anything that I can, any tool I can pick up from someone else that I can use in my own arsenal, I will. And people that can't do that because someone else has a political belief different from their own, I think that's a recipe for disaster. Anyways, that's my video, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say in the comment section. Let's please keep it respectful. There's going to be people that agree with me. Fine. There's going to be people that don't, and that's fine too. But let's not revert to name calling, which is what I see a lot of. Let's come up with solutions. And then let's make those voices heard, those that have good solutions to these problems. You know, before I go, they say, the question is, do you know what a problem really is? When you break it down to its lowest common denominator, do you know what a problem is? It's a question that needs an answer. That's it. It's a question that needs an answer. So if you feel you have answers that are positive, leave them in the comment section. I'm interested. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.